Hello there. Welcome everyone. I was feeling a little iffy like an hour ago, and I was debating whether if I wanted to do the stream. But I'm feeling better now. I know for sure that like tonight is gonna be rough for me and tomorrow because I have back-to-back doctor's appointments. Tomorrow's my psychiatrist appointment, and the day after is my therapy appointment, my first one. So I think I need to take some medicine tonight for sure. It's gonna be rough. I'm already like nervous about the doctor appointments, but I know that they're important. They're very necessary for me to continue to progress and get better. And I need to not be worried about them, not feel anxious about them. Let me get the desktop. There we go. Alright, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. Oh, shit. The monitor ran away from me. The chat is nice and visible. Well, if Streamlabs could stop having a stroke, that'd be lovely. How's everyone doing? We got Miroslav, Anna, Daniel, and Castle. I appreciate y'all joining. How's everyone doing? I think I've said that like 4 times now. Hope you're all having a good day. Good luck with my appointments. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm hoping that they go well. My cat is cute. I'm doing good. All cats are cute. All cats are cute. Just don't mind me eating my pear. Okay. You're annoyed by the YouTube ads, I'm assuming? I think I saw that comment earlier. I agree. I've been getting non-stop ads for like Cook Unity. What else? I literally think it's just Cook Unity. Oh, and like all the hair growth pills and stuff like that, which is crazy because I have good hair genetics, fortunately, and I don't need that shit. And because I'm a 30-year-old male, it's just gonna advertise me hair growth pills. So annoying. And there's nothing I can do about it because YouTube is a bitch. Okay, what are we doing today? Actually, I have no idea what we're doing today. I did some work in between today and the last time. So I added in the lights and the light switches and the puzzle that you will need to do in order to well, turn on the power. This is a minor spoiler, I guess, kind of, but I won't be showing how the puzzle works, obviously. And then I updated the level so that we have those collision overrides added into the world so we can actually interact with things properly. And then I updated the HUD. In fact, I can show you what it looks like. In the design phase, this is what it looks like, more or less. And you'll see what it looks like in the game in a sec. It's basically the same. I actually took the time to figure out what I wanted it to look like, and the placement of everything. I think I've got like everything spaced out nice and evenly, and I like what I've got. And then we can see the actual thing in the game. Let's do it in the village because it matters more what it looks like in the actual level. Oh yeah, ads for anything to do with AI, I immediately start blocking it, mass blocking it, so that I don't get those ads anymore. So here is the HUD in the actual level. Look at that. Isn't that cool? It looks exactly the same. I did have to tweak it a little bit because I forgot about the title part. The old HUD had a separate box for the title of the item on the right side. So I just moved it all into the main box on the right. But I've decided we're going to be doing a 5x5 grid for items. Down here we have our consumable slots. Although 2 of them will be locked to start, and you'll have to upgrade your character to have access to the other ones. I've added something here in the middle, which I haven't had before. This is actually new. But we're going to need it eventually anyways. It's a box to show all the status effects. And there'll be like a little icon here for each status effect. And then you can scroll over it, and it'll show you what the status effect is and what it does. We kind of need that at some point. So I might as well just throw this in now, even if we don't use it until much later. And then we have these nice little dividers that kind of separate things a little bit. We also have our sanity bar here on the bottom right. None of this is hooked up. Like, obviously sanity is not hooked up because I just added that in. This isn't hooked up, and these two, I don't know if those will work. But we gotta update things to do all of that. We can kill 2 birds with 1 stone right now. So let me open up. So when we're in the level, we are losing sanity, correct? Why is it paused? There we go. Yes, we're losing sanity there. Okay. So I want to open up the player HUD. And the player, inventory, the menu. Okay. So this is the progress bar for the player HUD, for the player health, sanity, whatever. We are changing this. I gotta find it first. Hold on. There it is. We are changing this. I have some assets for it that I made. So we're gonna change how it looks. And the placement as well. Thank you, Anna. I appreciate it for sharing. Castle, to me it sounds like you're actively trying to spoil the game for yourself. Stop doing that. So we gotta drag this into the background. And then this into the fill. And then fill from center. Want it to be the full color. Opacity. And then the full size, which is inventory, no, regular health bar. This one is a little smaller. 640 by 15. Okay. And then this, we're going to center it to the top. Whoops. I hate that. So we need to lock that. Okay. That's actually already centered. Perfect. A position on the Y. 75 is fine. Alright. And then there's that health bar. We have the sanity number, which I don't even think I want in the finished product at this point. Well, this would be shoot. I hate this, that the numbers change based on what you are anchored to. Ah. Okay. That's fine. Oh, it's not even long enough. 640. 30. So, there. Perfect. Nice and centered. For both, let's make sure that's centered. Centered. Anchored to the center, I mean. And at the very least, the HUD version of the health bar should be updated. There we go. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, and it's obviously going down slowly. That's essentially your timer. So now we need to hook up this sanity bar to the health value. So if we go to our HUD, we've clicked on our sanity bar, we can click on this and it'll take us to this. So we're copying and pasting this, essentially. And then we go in the menu, the inventory menu, click on the progress bar, create a binding. We'll rename it to, actually, we'll leave it as the default name. I don't really care. Perfect. The player reference is already there. Okay. I think we can change the amount of damage we take. Is it in here? No. Is it in the player? Just so that we can see, like, our health dropping in a more significant way. Let's find the player. Player should be in here. Oh, yeah, that's the thing we need to work on next. Okay. I'm trying to think. Where did I put that? There it is. Oh, it's right. It's a component. Okay. So, let's make that 10 for now. So now we can actually see the health value drop pretty quickly. And the bar actually moving. We go in our inventory. We see technically it's a different progress bar, but it's the same health value. And it's consistent across both. I think what I'll do is add that number as well. Yeah. So we'll add the number. We're gonna center that. We're gonna make it smaller. And then hopefully this stays consistent. Like when you stretch the screen. Okay. We'll add, we gotta add some kind of, actually we can look at the HUD and see what I did with this. It's 18, got an outline of 3. So we'll do the same thing here. Outline of 3. And then we might need to move it up a bit. that's the wrong way. Actually, where it was fine. I think we need to move things now. Shoot. Move it up by 10. Oh, that's the size. Move it up by 10. And then add 10 here. Okay. And then that will be tied to this. Carry to binding. And we can find that exact same code here somewhere. Copy. Paste. There we go. Dan in Denmark while in... I'm not reading that. Daniel's putting nonsense in the chat again. Okay. There you go. Now that I think about it, I think I want that at the top. Yeah. I'm gonna have to tweak everything. I think it's just better for consistency's sake. Yeah. Yep. Okay. On the HUD, we also need to remove some things. These are consumable slots. Okay. So removing these last two. Oh shit, hold on, what happened? Why are these out of order? We also need to change the size of those. Hold on. Here and here and here. There it is. Excuse me. I think it's 105 by 105 now. Ooh. Did I use the right one here? A rarity bar. Nope, that's the wrong one. There we go. So now I gotta open this one. Believe it or not, two different things. Just how the game works, because sometimes UI does not want to cooperate. Okay. Right. Because this one isn't a button, the other two are buttons. Ooh. So these are 105 and 105. And let me get rid of this blank background. Let me actually add something there so that I don't have trouble finding it. So it's a consumable. We'll just toss this in there. There. So we just have something there. So can I add this on there directly? Okay, it's updated there. Good. Where am I looking for here? Of course I closed it. So we need the rarity border. Yeah, we can have them both on top of each other. This needs to be on top, so we gotta make sure it's on top. And then we also technically need, we gotta open all three of them now. The text amount, in case there's more than one in that stack. I hate that so much. Move it, plate. I had a water and I forgot it somewhere. Shit. The farm shed by Molly's in survival, as you know, has the fall through hole, but today in Munchie Meal went to the same spot and it was solid. Yeah, it seems like I think I know what the issue is there. So at some point when they updated that interior, I'm assuming for like safe house reasons. Did I just mute something? No. I hit one of the buttons. They must have shifted the building position, but also didn't update the collision for the floor. So the floor collision is shifted over a little bit. Because there is supposed to be a hole there where the ladder is in the ground, in the floor of that attic area. So the collision is just like in the wrong spot. That's the only issue. So they haven't updated the Wintermute version of that building for any reason. They don't need to. And I get the reason. I get the feeling that's why. That building has a hole in its collision. It's because the collision didn't get moved when they moved the building for safe house. Okay. Okay. For some reason, this looks darker in color. It's the wrong one, that's why. Yeah, they look different. That's why. There we go. I think the color is identical. Are you the right one? Didn't I just put you on here? Yeah, you're the right one. You're the wrong one. I gotta delete the old ones at some point. Oops. Perfect. Okay. Awesome. So in our HUD, we should now see the numbers. In our inventory, we should also see the numbers, and down here as well. Okay. Let's recenter this. So it's 105 by 105. This, I don't even know if we're going to use that, I'm going to be honest. I want 15 in between. So, oops. Calculator. Decided today to start with episode 3 first. Get Molly. Get the rescue op done. First, then play as Metalhead Boxer. Will McKenzie. Can you still not play the other 2 episodes? Okay, 195. X. Oh, that was wrong. That was a miscalculation. Hold on. 105 times 3. Okay. Plus 15 times 3. I'm doing this wrong. God damn it. 105 times 4 plus 15 times 3. There we go. 465. By 105. Perfect. If we want it to be centered. Okay, so 1920 minus actually, I think if we just do, what is it? 465? 232.5 minus 232.5, and then from the top minus 120, 960. Oh, right, minus the 105. Math. Love it and hate it at the same time. Love it when it works, hate it when I have to do it myself. I don't even think we're going to use this, right? Wasn't this like a... Yeah, it was for durability. We're not using that anymore. We're not using equipment durability. Because we're really only going to allow you to have one equipment. Oh, I think the idea was that maybe one day we'll add it in. So we'll hold on to this. It's hidden, okay. So just leave it, like, down here. And there we go. Our updated HUD. And our updated inventory. This is supposed to be a larger inventory, like a journal, essentially, with tabs up here. But those will come later, I think. I think that's what I've decided at this point. Let's drop the... Let's close these. We're not going to do any more HUD stuff after this. Let's drop this another 60. Let's see where that is. That's much better. Okay. Okay. So, what is the first thing that I want to do besides... Before I show you, or before we start working on the next thing. Oh yeah, let me do. What were the things I worked on? I guess the only thing I can show you is the new item spawns. Oh, we're using the epic graphics. We don't want that. That will destroy the PC. Also, the Blackrock prisoner body Astrid finds after she finds the guards. I got a new insight on Mathis after reading the notes slowly. Got a whole... You have a new theory on the whole Blackrock riots timeline, kind of. I'm pretty sure the timeline is set in stone. Oh, let me turn off, set this back to 1. At some point, I should just have a God mode enabled for testing. So I added new spawn points to the world for different types of items. As you can clearly see, the visuals right now kind of give it away, but there's some items over there that are glowing. The crazy thing is that with the proper graphic settings, you can see them through the fog. It's freaking insane how far away you can see them. But they're over there on the island. We should hopefully have a couple more. There's that spawned there, but we're not gonna want that to spawn there later on. And then we have a mushroom right here. Look at that. So I placed mushroom spawns around the big trees. And then herb spawns around the water, around the island as well. I guess we can't go that way. I don't know why I'm not just words. Oh, why I'm not just turning off the HUD. So we got more mushrooms back there, as you can see, behind under those trees. And I do have a spawn point for one here on these like tree stumps. I thought that would be really cool. And there's only 2 of them in the level, but I might add more. Although I don't want to add more mushroom spawns because there's already an even amount of them compared to the herbs. So I do eventually will add more of those spawn points around like these resource nodes, like specifically like these rocks. I will also add like a couple here for rocks and crystals, with the crystals being the rarest ones. Kirk's here, welcome. And rubble as well. Rubble will have like rock and or crystal spawn points around it, and it'll be random, like which ones spawn and what spawns where. I'm basically almost done adding in the actual item spawns. So literally all that's left now is finishing up this, which I'm not happy with. This doesn't look good. I need another frame of sort for the door here. This is supposed to be a gate technically. That's what the game calls for, but this bridge really doesn't support that aesthetically, and you know, size-wise, a gate won't work here. So I have a door, but it looks really bad. So I just bought an asset pack actually of like gates and walls and stuff, and I want to see if that'll look better. But this looks awful. I do not like that. So I need to update that. I need to add in the story vessels, which have a specific, they spawn into the world after a specific condition has been met, essentially. And then I need to wrap up the puzzles in this level, and I think that's about it. But we have the world override here. This thing, I'm trying to click on it, but it's a pixel wide. There it is. This is really important. We need this to work because we need this to be under the level, overlapping everything. Because we had the issue in the past where, I'm trying to find an example here. Here we go. Right here. Where we could interact with stuff on the other side of walls because there's nothing to really stop my capsule that's attached to the camera from interacting with stuff on the other side of walls. So I needed a way to prevent that. Why is it saying interact? Hold on. Maybe it's because I'm too close. Okay, so there's a interior override. It's a box that I have to enter into in order to actually interact with anything in that room. So that's all working perfectly. But now we have the problem of, well, if I go inside, is this open? It might be locked. It's locked. I need to put the lock on this as well. Oh, it is locked, but it's not showing that it is locked. Let me go up to it. Yeah. That should say locked door. Love a new bug. Actually, this is an old bug. I just have never written it down. Doors that start locked. Do not say they are locked. Okay. Let me unlock it for now, because these are locked for story reasons. Not this one though. This one is locked. A fan theory episode? I don't know. Is there room for that before episode 5? Okay. So the doors actually work different. Oh god, I can't get this fit through apparently. Too chunk. So the doors work differently from everything else because there's 2 different collisions. So actually, I think I did this off stream, so I want to talk about it because it's something that I added in, and I would love to show it. Let me turn these back on. Visibly, I mean. We could even talk about it during the pre-episode 5 episode, the diner discussion diner. There we go. Hold on one sec. I need a god mode. Hold on. God mode? God mod. Oh. God mode on. And then we'll make sure this has like dev only. Oh, I don't know why we put this in here. Oh no, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Okay. We don't really need this then. Set to whatever that is, and then if we're turning it off, then go ahead and turn off God mode. Turn off God mode. Oh. If it's false. If we're turning off God mode, then we turn off God mode, which will start ticking the damage. And then on the player character, we just have a toggle for it. Where is my HUD toggle? Oh, shoot. That must be a key binding, a proper one. Well, yeah, we'll put it here. Center, sanity handler. Toggle God mode. I think this will work. We definitely did print. Nope. Okay. We'll make it theoretically impossible for that to be removed on screen. Well, that's probably not a good idea. Never mind. 10 seconds. Okay. So that should work. Set to true. Right, once it starts, so we need to turn off the ticking, the damage tick. So if we hit true, stop sanity timer. Right, we need to actually stop it first. Alright, God mode. Easy. Health, stop ticking down. Turn it off. Starts ticking again. Awesome. Perfect. Excellent. We got God mode working just for developer purposes. Okay, what was I talking about? It was about the door, right? So, perfect. We're right here. So we have 4 different collisions, 2 on each side for the doors. So that one right there, the one that's like all across the door, that's the one for the capsule to hit. But we can't interact with it until we overlap this as the player. And now we can interact with this one. But this one, this collision here, will only enable the collision that's in front of you. It will not let you interact with the one in the back. That's not how that works. So this one is tied to this one. And then if I go on the inside, something weird about that doorway. Maybe it's like the patio there or whatever. And then for when it's open, it does not matter which one you hit because it's just going to close the door. So now I'm on this side. In order to open it, how am I able to... Oh, that's weird. I'm not overlapping that though. Huh. Bug alert. Fan Theories would be a 12-hour show. That's hilarious. I'm not that close. Weird. There's something about that one that's like different. Why am I so much closer and able to interact with it? That's not how it should work. See how like I have to get like inside this box on the floor to touch this one? Yeah, the door wouldn't close there for a second. Oh, weird. There's something about that second collision. Let me close everything but the door and the player, because we don't need anything else. What's going on with the player here? See, the player's not that big collision-wise. There's no way it's interacting with the player. So this is... That's player collision 2. So player collision 2 is acting a little funky. Okay. I'll make note of that. That is a weird bug. It must be some kind of setting that the 2 collisions don't share. Okay, that doesn't matter. Okay, so now that we're inside, where's that resource pile? Right there. Okay. So we're in here. We're in here. We can interact with things in here because there's an override that lets me interact with things in here. But when it comes to stuff outside, there's nothing that's stopping me from interacting with the things outside. See? I can interact with the junk pile that's outside the wall. Because there's no override that's affecting the rest of the world. Basically the overworld. I need it for the houses because these are separate separate rooms. So those are necessary. You need to enter the room in order to be able to physically reach that item. Whereas if you're on the other side of the wall, you could theoretically just peer through with the capsule collision and interact with it. On the outside, the overworld, we don't have anything like that, and that's what the world override is for. It's basically, all it's going to do is, if the interactable objects don't have a collision override, then the world override will dictate if it can be interacted with. So we need the world override open, and then we need the regular override for the individual rooms. Triggers, I think. Yes. Local interaction override. I think the local interaction override needs to have the world override as a variable. Okay. And then after it gets the player reference and sets itself, it needs to find all actors of get actors of class local interaction override. We're gonna put this in a function, I think. A lot of this could be put in a function, but that's fine. The problem is the delays. Delays cannot be put in a function for some reason. At the moment, I might be myself. It has a larger crash out. Wait, what? Oh, you can make it work. I don't want to crash out, Daniel Castle. Please no. Today and tomorrow are not the days for me to crash out. Okay. For each loop, for each of those local overrides, set world override ref for all of them, and that is self. Okay. So I'm trying to think, if the player enters one of the local overrides, the local override needs to tell the world override that the player is not in the world override, essentially. It will always be in the world override, but it's also inside of a local one. I hope this makes sense. There's a big box in the world, and then little boxes inside the big box. When the player enters the small box, the little box has to tell the big box something, essentially. So the little boxes should have a reference to the big box. So now we can do... we already have collision overlap. So on begin overlap, toggle override. First we'll tell the big box X information. So what do we need to tell it? For now, we'll just set up a generic event or function. Toggle world override. So we get our big box reference, toggle world override, and then we're gonna add to that after this. Okay. Okay, and then when it exits the small box already handles its own objects that are inside of it. But when it exits the small box, does it need to tell the big box anything? I don't think so. No, yeah, it does. Okay. So we need a true and false. So in here, we are turning off the override. I guess we'll do the same thing here. Enable collision. So here we're going to disable the collisions. Are they both doing it? Oh yeah, they are. Okay. Yeah, perfect. So that's all we need to do there for the little box. Okay. So now the big box will handle the rest. So I think I already duplicated this. This is a copy of the smaller box. So we need to delete everything except for like the main things up here. Yeah, this will stay the same. Get rid of that. Override, delay, complete. Okay. So we don't even need this, I think. No, we will. I done goofed. We do need all of that. Do we need this? Yes, I think we do. Okay. Leave everything as is, except for this. So we don't need to set the player reference already. We already have a player reference. So we can just completely ignore that. We're not even going to change anything based on if the player enters or exits. We're going to make sure the player's always inside of this big box. Grape Nuts here. Welcome. Vessels are barely nowhere. No. Okay. So here we have any item that it interacts with that can be interacted with, which is basically all the items, containers, etc. Will get added to this list here. But we don't want everything added to this list. Okay. Because this would be a list of literally everything in the game that's interactive. We don't want that. We only want the things that don't have a local override reference. So here, the local override is setting itself as the reference for that item. So if an item is inside the small box is telling the item in it that we are basically partners, essentially. So you can only be touched by by the player. You can only be interacted with by the player if you're inside of me in this box, and the player is inside the box as well. The world override is going to do something like that, but it's going to ignore the ones that have that reference, if this reference is valid, essentially. Okay, so before we add, get, see, here's okay. We're gonna need an interface function for this, because we can't get that information from a generic actor. So we need another interface function. World override info. So we're inputting actor. Yeah, we're inputting the act. No, we don't need to do anything for an input. The output, we need local interaction, local override. Yeah, that's what we need. Local interaction override. Okay. So let's move this over. What do we call this? World override info. We'll change that. Interaction override info. Interaction override info. Great. Now everything needs to get updated. Okay. Interaction override info. We need this one. Yeah. It's always tricky trying to remember which one it is. It's got to be a specific version of this. I don't know why. Okay. So now we have the local override. Is this valid? Is this an actual object or is it empty? If it's empty, meaning it's not valid, we want to add it to this list. If it has a valid override, a local override, the small box, we don't want it in this list because the big box is only handling objects that don't have the small box as a partner. Trying to make this make some sort of sense, I guess. Oh, there's something missing here. I must have deleted it. Ah, we're right, this, okay. Got it. So toggle door override. Oh no. I don't even think we're using that anymore. I think I can just disconnect that. Because the doors aren't working with the overrides at all. That's why we have if equal to door, it does a different thing. If it's not equal to a door, then it won't do anything. Or it'll do the other the main thing. Can we still interact with the door? Do we even need that? Yes, we can still interact with the door. Yeah, it still seems to be like interacting sooner. Maybe it's like a perspective thing? But yeah, we can interact with the door without that. So we don't need that at all. We can disconnect that or delete it, but we're going to disconnect it because we don't need it. Okay, that's supposed to remain empty. Okay. Yeah, we don't want to touch the door now with these overrides because the door works separately. Because the door is unique. It has two different collisions that we need to handle at the same time. Okay. I can move all this up. Move this up. It's all too close. Okay. That's the local one. The world override. Okay. So oh. I don't really think we need to remove, because items won't be like rolling around in the world. There won't be any physics for items. Yet. That might change. But there shouldn't be a reason why anything exits unless it's being picked up and added to the inventory. But that won't matter because the way that it'll work is that it'll just get auto-removed from the list anyways. It doesn't exist in the world anymore. What's going into this list is the physical reference to that item in the world. So if that's removed, it'll just be void and removed from the list entirely. I don't think we need it, but just in case, I'll leave it. But we really shouldn't need to do anything here. So now that we've added everything without a small box reference, we need the big box to tell all of those items what to do. So we're basically going to do this. Whatever this is doing. First, we need to... Oh boy. We'll do that last, because that's going to get complicated. Because we need to, like... Ooh. No, we don't need to do anything with that. Okay. I think I'm gonna sit down for now. I'm tired. Sometimes when I get my feet hurt too much from standing, it's hard to concentrate. Do you think we'll have more indoor animals in Black Forest? I don't know, because they might be going for a more seamless open world. Where it doesn't matter if there's an indoor animal or not. The indoor animal might be an outdoor animal if it wants to. I have no idea. But we do have at least one indoor animal in Black Frost. But it's from a screenshot, and it might not actually be a proper indoor animal later on. I'm the one that found it first, as far as I'm concerned, and I named it Spicy because of the spicy honey. It's the screenshot from the honey pot, I think that's what it's called, in Harmont. So I named the wolf Spicy because of the spicy honey. But again, like I said, it might be a more seamless open world. So if there's a hole in the wall, the wolf will be able to travel in and out of it as if it's just a normal world, or a normal part of the world. So there really might not be such thing as an indoor wolf or indoor animal in general, because they could just hop through, you know, a broken window, or you know, through a hole in the wall or whatever. If it's a bird, it might go through a window. Actually, we did see, assuming that's all gameplay, even if like the animations are not actually representative of anything in the game, there were crows inside of a building. It's a building with a hole, like a window open, a big window, but there's crows sitting on a chair or whatever, couch, inside of a building. So I don't know. It seems like maybe the AI might be a little smarter in that game. They can actually like traverse like the world better and navigate into places that they couldn't before. But the world does seem to be a little more open world, a little more seamless. Like it's all blended together. Like there won't be loading screens or anything. Maybe for underground areas there'll be loading screens, but and cave systems. But like overworld, like buildings, houses, barns, etc. It all seems to be seamless so far. I'm not sure though. Okay. So we're getting all the items that are not doors. We're checking to see if they have a local reference. If they don't, add them to the list. Once that delay is complete, is that supposed to be true? Okay. If it's true, then we need to toggle this. Toggle interaction override. We're going to need an item to start with, an interactive item. So we'll do the resource pile because it's right there. And then we'll pull the player closer to it so that I don't lose my mind. I'm trying to walk over to it. I may update the walking speed. I'm going to be honest. It's a little slow. We'll see. So, in interface, interaction override, World override. Toggle interaction override. Toggle interaction override. Okay. So it's gonna enable collision, interaction override ref. Okay. We'll put these together, basically. So we need to essentially duplicate it, but it's not going to be exact. So what is it called? Toggle interaction override. So we need a new one. Put this in here. Called toggle. Oops. World override. Why can't I do that? Name already in use? What? How? Where? What? It's not being used in here, as far as I can tell. Why is that name already in use in here? In the interface? No, it's not. Where? Show me where it's being used. What? Huh? I'm really confused here. I think I'll go in there. Is it because... because of this? Hold on. I'm having a stroke here. Let me turn these off visibly. I can hit them. We don't need the door for this. We're in the world override. Didn't I name something toggle world override? There. Oh my god. Right, it's a function. Is that why? That's why. Why does that matter? Like, I know that that blueprint has the interface, but why? They're not even the same thing. So it won't let you name two different things within the same blueprint or, you know, asset because it'll get confused, obviously. But, like, these aren't even the same thing. That's so confusing. I'm gonna have to rename this then. Set world override, whatever. That's disappointing as hell. I really needed that water. Holy shit. This like wheat cookie that I have is really dry. You love game deving? Well, I'm glad. I'm hoping you're enjoying this. When you're on a roll, it's really fun to do. Okay. Okay. So we've passed that issue. So in here, we're going to do toggle world override. Same thing here. Enable collision. I'm trying to think. Is this even being used anywhere? Do we need that? I don't think so. That might be a remnant from when I was trying to use this system for the door, and now that the door doesn't use that, it's not even necessary. So if I like pull up the light switch, no, that's not even being used for any reason. We'll leave it. I'm not deleting it. We don't need it for this though. We don't need a separate one. So what we can do is just drag this over here. It's going to use the exact same code anyways. Just a little different. We can reuse that part because it's the same thing. And an object should not be able to do both at the same time. It can only do one or the other. Because they're on different lists, essentially. Okay. Okay. So on the world override, I'm going over here. Toggle world override. True. And then we're going to get collision enabled. Where are we setting that? Because we're setting it here. Oh, right. This is going to work differently. This is being set as the player's entering or exiting. So in the world override, we need to... We need to start... Get the player reference. I think the player reference has a local... Get interaction override reference. Okay, so if that's valid... We don't need this. We don't need this. Delete. Delete. Is valid. So if that's... What am I trying to do here? I don't know why I'm trying to do this. We don't need to. Because the player, we always need to have that, no matter what. The player always has to have that. Got an ad for the Chile Labor Company. I don't know what that means. Oh my god, I'm like... I've hit myself with a confusion ray and it was super effective. Right, we need to enable collision somehow. Got it. So when we enter... we need to do the opposite. Right. So this is being triggered every time the player is entering the collision. Those smaller boxes. So when the player... enters and exits the small boxes, it's going to play this, which is here. Okay, so we need to take the collision setting and do the opposite. We'll flip it, and then it'll handle that variable. Okay. Right, we need to make sure that this is... the player always needs to be in it, so set it as enabled to start. Okay. So it's always enabled to start. Right, and then we need that variable there. Okay, then that'll tell the objects if it's if it can be what's it called? Words? I'm like having a stroke here. Not actually. That'll tell the actual objects within the boxes if they can be interacted with. Remove. So this is it should be valid. Is not valid. I don't think we need this at all, but we're gonna just set it up just in case we somehow need it. Okay. Do we need toggle override? No, because that's being triggered here. We don't need it up here either. Get rid of that. Get rid of this and this. Just condense everything down to what we actually need. Now, in my head, this should work. But that doesn't mean it's going to. That's never the fact. That's never the case. Okay. So, we are outside. We can interact with you. Good. Not sure why the lighting is like that. It's probably the material. Okay. Well, that's not disturbing. I think I might have to make it so that that object can't be interacted with light. Because it looks bad. Okay. So we were outside, we were able to interact with the resource piles. Now we're inside. Damn it. I can still interact with it. Okay. Because we set it up for the resource piles. Right. I think it's because the player started in the override, which we won't in the local one, the small box. We don't want that. So let's go in. And nope, it's still there. Yeah. Okay. So the resource pile. We can see if the code was fired here. So if we click on this specific one right here. Resource pile 2. Okay. So we'll be able to see things firing in here. Ah, nothing happened there. Okay. So the local override. This never triggered. Ah, that's why. We don't need that. We just need this. That's why. Our variable isn't being... That's the wrong variable. Our variable wasn't being set. Alright, I'm more confident that this will work. Excuse me? Fuck! Why? Okay. No, nothing's being triggered. So this is never being activated. Okay. So we have... Oh god, this is gonna be tricky to find. I think that's it. Dude, I really need to get rid of this fucking foliage. Interaction override. So this is the override for this room. So now it'll tell us... It'll show us the code firing for this one. We should see this branch light up, essentially. There you go. Saw the top line light up. So that means that was true when it got to here. This was true, so it actually flipped it and set it to false. Okay. Oh, you know what? We're missing a key piece here. So once we've toggled this variable, we've flipped it essentially. Then we need to take this for each loop. Yeah, that's what we're missing. We need to actually tell the items to flip their collision. So for right now, it's just going to work for the resource nodes, resource piles, but this should work. You know what would really help? If we, like, made this invisible. Shit. If we could see through that, that'd be great. But I think that worked. Yeah, that worked. That was a success. I think there's another one out there, but yeah, that worked. Holy shit. That was easy peasy. To be fair, I already had the code in the game. I just needed to flip the code. Invert it is more like more of the better description for what I did there. I'm so happy. That was a huge hurdle, like what, a year ago, maybe like 6 months ago, something like that, more than. A massive problem with the game that I tried fixing multiple times, and it's resolved, and these blueprints are reusable. I can use them in the future for new games, so that we can't interact with things on the other side of walls. Awesome. Will there be an option to buy a bigger, brighter flashlight? I'm thinking maybe, yeah, there could be equipment upgrades. But like if you translate that to like the other upgrade equipment, like the pickaxe, I'm thinking you'll gather resources slower. Oh, why the fuck can I interact with it again? Oh, interesting. With a a low tier pickaxe, it'll take longer to actually pick at the rock. When you upgrade it, it increases the time, or decreases the time for it to actually collect the resources, and will give you more resources. I think that's how those upgrades will work. I've had all this written down. Flashlight? We could increase the brightness. Yeah, there could be an upgrade for the flashlight to increase the brightness. But remember, these are not the final graphics. This is what it should look like. It should look more like this. Which is weird because, like, the flashlight even brightens the world in general. I don't know why. Lighting and post-processing is something I have very little knowledge on. But this looks a lot better than the potato graphic settings. You can still see the outline of things in the distance. Ooh, the frame rate's so bad. But this isn't a game build, this is in-engine. I think this is a lot more bearable, right? Would you agree? I think so. You know what I realized? I want to get rid of the road. It doesn't make sense that the road is visible if this place has been abandoned. The road should be buried with snow. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to bury the road with snow. Yeah. So we ran into another bug. I think the next stream we've got to do a debugging stream for the next one, because this list is getting bigger with every stream. Resource piles still show the interaction text after collecting the resources. Okay, that was the big thing that I wanted to do today. I'm very happy that we got it done very quickly, actually. This might be a shorter stream, but we'll see. That's a huge step towards getting into early access, because that is a vital thing that we needed in order to make sure the game wasn't overpowered, I guess. Because now you can't loot through walls. I don't know if overpowered is the right word there. We still have some core things that we're missing, though. That's a problem. Next, we'll do the bug fixing stream. Because I remember the last time we did a bug fixing stream, that was pretty fun. Trying to wrap my head around bullshit. So I've got this started. It's not done, though. We'll mark it as yellow. don't know if there's anything we can do right now. I might have this, the other thing that I just bought today. No idea. House 8? That's the wrong house. Ooh, that's also a spoiler. Well, lucky you. All of you. Watching. There will be a trader in the game. Multiple traders, actually. NPCs, eventually. This is years down the line, by the way. Not years down the line. Maybe a year in, we'll have, like, traders and NPCs and a proper, like, trading hub and all that. Oh, boy. I really need to get that tutorial level work started. You know what? Let's do that right now. Let's close this. Open our asset dump level. And then open Fab. You guys are gonna get a sneak peek at the tutorial level. I'm hoping it's big enough for what I want to do. But we'll see. I'll open it inside the actual project. This shouldn't take that long to open. There's nothing in it. It's an asset dump for a reason. I dump assets in, put them into the game if I want them, the proper game, and then delete the assets in the asset dump. Have I played me versus Homer? No, I don't know what that is. Alright, sneak peek. Here we go. At the tutorial. I've had this in mind for a very long time. Like, basically since the beginning. As the tutorial level. I should probably start writing the story for that down. Yep. It's gonna be easier to just type it in. There it is. Cigar room. Allows users with AI, that's fine. Generated with AI, no. That is something I gotta do. At some point, make sure every single asset was not generated by AI. This has to say no. Okay, it supports the current version of the game. Awesome. I have a rough idea for the story. I just have to write it down. Basically, the notes that it's gonna have. If it's gonna be a tutorial, the main level has 11. Just the base notes, I think it's 10. No, 12 notes. Right? Yes, it has 12 notes. Plus a couple others for the puzzles and all that. This should probably only have like 4 notes. Three notes, I think would be good. Something like that. What's up, Daniel? Okay. Oops. Alright, now we gotta let all those assets load in. All the shaders. Shade. It's gonna take a while. Man, I could use a drink. Well, I was hoping it was more than just the one room, but this works. This works. This is perfect for what I wanted the tutorial to be like. Have I been in France before? Actually, I have been in France before, yeah. Have I talked about that before? This is exactly what I was looking for the tutorial. Alright. But we gotta make it nighttime. Oh god. Right, we don't actually have a player. Because this is a different project. So all I need to do is... Okay, so remember what Vessels is all about. These locations that you will explore have some kind of tragic backstory. Some kind of mass death event or trauma, pain, suffering. Something bad happened. Your goal is to explore the location and try to find evidence of what happened, to piece together the events. This is a cigar room, and the idea I had for the story here... Let's say I don't want to say exactly what it is. I think you'll get a rough idea for the story of this location. Because it's a tutorial, remember, this is just the tutorial level. But I do want to add more to it in the future, which is why I was hoping this was like an actual building and not like just the one room. But maybe I can piece something together to expand this. Basically, the tutorial may have additional difficulty levels that will let you go outside this room and keep exploring the story a bit more. But that won't be for a while. I just need a basic tutorial with the basic story set up here. And then if I get the chance, I will expand on that story. Because this room will have a connection to one of the NPC characters. But you might guess what you know I might be trying to tell here story-wise. It's a cigar room. What type of people would have a cigar room is what I'm trying to say. I think you can piece that together. These cigars look like bullets for some reason, like big bullets. But yeah, this is exactly the size that I wanted for the tutorial. I might have to create a puzzle for this. Something like that. Ooh, a little hiding spot? Yeah, this is perfect. Okay. Okay. Oh, I think that's saved. Fuck. That's fine. So now we can open Vessels proper. I am looking to do an upgrade at some point. Are we still on 5.7? Yeah. When the preview for 5.9 comes out, which we still got to get through 5.8, that's when I'll upgrade to 5.8. Because I don't want to upgrade every update available. I want to do every 2. So when 5.9 is preview is available, then I'll upgrade to 5.8. Right now I'm 5.6. Okay, we can just close everything. At this point, I mean, all I can do is add the cigar room in. What other places have I been? Mexico, obviously. Here in the US. All over the US, actually. Italy, Spain, the Vatican, Monaco. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Country-wise, yeah. Oh, technically Switzerland, but that was like what's it called? We just landed there to get to Europe. It's so weird, like for that one trip I took to Europe in high school for Spanish club. Our connecting flight was in Zurich, Switzerland, for some reason. But then our connection flight would go to Spain, to Madrid. I don't know why. Like we flew further to get to our connecting flight to basically fly like an hour and a half back towards home to Spain. So weird. And then the same thing for the return flight, but it was from Rome to Zurich. Not sure why. The connection flights were in Zurich specifically. Failed to load. Uh-oh. Import load. Failed. My bad. Hey, let's force close this so we don't do any damage. Let me make a commit. Ooh, it's already got the files in. First person character, that's 1. $12, $13. The village is gonna be 14. Yep, there it is. Okay, that's still 14. Okay. 14. That's a lot of files. Why does such a small level have so many files? Come on. So there's 3 more files I need to account for. Okay, let's not do that again. Let's push before we try to add a whole level into the game. We were missing 3 files here. $12, $13. The village is 14. There's still 3 more files. Oh wait, no. I can't math. I really can't math. Jesus Christ. Those are the 14 files. Okay. Stream 30 what? 30, 32, 33, 34. God, math. Stream 34. Let's just commit that first. And then add the cigar lounge, bar, whatever it's called. And then we'll just have that, we'll label that as something else. Well, we're not going to push the level. We're not going to push any, we're going to push any, no, we're not going to push anything. Except for the actual level. We gotta be careful here. And I'm gonna have to, oh no, I gotta make a, I gotta actually do some commands here to try to push that level. If it's too big, it won't push through GitHub. I'll have to do the large file size thing again. It took me forever to figure out how to do that so that I can actually save the level and not have it only on the computer. That's only if the village, if the cigar room's too big. I gotta remember how to do that. I think it's like, was it? Jesus Christ, that's a flashbang. It's git bash. Yeah, I open git bash, and then I access the repo, and then I gotta set the repo to recognize the cigar bar as a large file to accept, to change. But let's see. I don't know how big the cigar bar is. This I do need to fix. Content. Oh god. Content. I guess I can see in here. Oh, that's... I don't know if that's the actual file size of the map. Cigar room. Delete that. Delete that. Delete that. Okay. Let's try that again. Why does this sound familiar? This is from DuckTales? It sounds familiar. Does it show the file size here? No. Add to project. Please don't start failing to load everything. No, this is not from Smash Bros. Oh, maybe this pop-up came up and then I hit cancel and it canceled the... Okay, that might have been what happened. Okay. Yes, import everything. No, that's what happened. This isn't good. Oh, it says it's 297 kilobits. Okay. Well, we're gonna be here a while, but I think we can just end the stream here. And then I'll let it do this off stream. So in between now and then, I need to design my main menu, what it's going to look like. Figure out what level that's going to be in. Is it just going to be like the view of the village, like down the main road, I guess? Or is it going to be something else? Oh, actually, I think I wanted to just be in the tutorial level. Yeah, the main menu will take place in the tutorial level, essentially. So there's going to be a duplicate of it. Yeah, that'll be the main menu for now. The main menu background, essentially. Design the main menu out and the escape menu as well. That's not escape, but you know what I mean. Because it'll be different. Because the main menu will have level selection. Wait, what? Oh, this is like the background. Got it. So it'll have a new game, load game, tutorial settings, exit, and the pause menu will have. Do I have a pause menu in here? No. Gotta add that. Pause menu. Well, basically you have the same thing. Not really. Save game. Settings. Exit game. And then exit. We'll do main menu. Main menu. And then exit. That's what the pause menu will. So I gotta just design out what that's gonna look like. It's gonna be super simple. I'm not a UI designer in any way. All I know is how to set up a UI, not actually how to design a good one. It's gonna be very basic and bare bones for now. And if I can find a good asset pack in the future to replace it with, then I'll probably do that. Okay, so what's gonna happen when I load this? Because it couldn't import everything. But the files changes are in here, right? Yeah, 1,400 files. Okay, with the shader shade. What about manual save / autosave? No autosave. The whole point is you get in and get out. And if you die in the middle of the run, you lose everything. It's kind of a roguelite, I guess, in a way, where you die, you lose some progress, but not all of it. Yeah, anything you pick up in your run, if you die, and you know what I mean by die, you're not actually dying. Your sanity drops to 0. You lose all of the items that you picked up, the new items. And I'm thinking maybe you also lose items that you came with that. Yeah, the items that you came with originally, some of those will also disappear. You will lose progress. There's no need for an autosave, because that's not how it's going to work. It's not Souls-like. That's not what a Souls-like is like. This is not a Souls-like. Souls-like is a specific type of game that From Software is good at making. This is just a normal get in, get out. If you die, you lose progress. Or whatever progress you had. You don't die. You don't lose progress. You lose whatever progress you were gonna make. So essentially, it's a roguelite, not roguelike. There's a difference there. Roguelike, you lose all progress. Roguelite, you lose some progress, but you progress as you go, even if you lose some stuff or some progress. You will gain some of it back essentially as you play. Okay, so this looks like it's working. We need a player start here. See, this is why I might need to expand this room, because it's just a tiny, little bit too small. Maybe just make these walls. Oh, it's a cube. Oh, it's a cube. Can I stretch it maybe? How bad is that gonna look? Oh, wow. Oh, even this? What? Okay. Hold on. So if I make this 3, oops, maybe not 3, maybe 1.5, and then make this 1.5, and then make this 1.5. Oh, it's already, oh no. Oh, what the fuck? Ah. That's not what I'm looking at. This is what I'm looking at. And the floor. Okay, I'll have to move the door and all that. But yeah. That doesn't look too bad if I stretch it out a bit. I gotta expand the room somehow. I will do that. Off stream, we're gonna leave this as it was. Okay, but it looks good, at least. Let me play from here. Ooh. Interesting. See, we can't have the bright lights though, because the only way the vessels form is at night. These investigations are night investigations for a reason. Is there a hole in the floor there? There sure is. That's weird. But yeah, we gotta change the lighting so that it's nighttime. Maybe make the room bigger, etc., etc. Okay, well that loaded finally. And I will eventually get that level to, actually, no, hold on. We can probably figure it out right now. Oh dear god, that's a lot of fucking shit to... Hold on. Find the top of this. Please. Please. Please, there's so many files. Why are there so many files? In one little room? Okay. Exclude. Now find the maps folder. Cigar room. Cigar room. Tutorial level added. Please work. Oh wait. Oh no. What is it trying to push? It said 164 files. Oh no. Why? Undo, undo, undo. Undo commit. Continue. Undo it. Okay. Why does it have 100 and... Where are those? Didn't I click on all the files and disable them? Or unselect them? Oh my god. You're all fired. You're all banned. Exclude. One file. Jesus H. Christ. Excellent, it works. It's small enough. Okay, so we don't need to do the LSF thing, or whatever it's called. Large file size. LFS. There we go. Yeah, get LFS is a really annoying process. Yeah, roguelite and roguelike are different. It's like, L-I-K-E, and light, L-I-T-E. We're going for light. You will lose progress if you die, but you won't lose everything. You'll kind of get stronger, I guess, from losing, from dying, because you'll have the knowledge to get better, I guess. But yeah, no, yeah, there's a difference. There's a huge difference. A rogue, I'm trying to think of an example of a roguelike. I would probably have to look up the difference between them and just see the list of games that... Yeah, we'll do that right now. Here we go. This will give us a list. Yeah, roguelikes are permadeath. And randomly generated maps, usually. Roguelike is like Hades, so you lose some progress when you die, but you'll progress in a way from dying, so you won't necessarily lose everything. Binding of Isaac. That's a roguelike. Roguelite would be Hades. Okay. Yeah. So there's even like an element of randomization with roguelikes. Because the world is randomly generated and there's permadeath. Yeah, I don't know if I would ever play a game like that. No, thank you. Put a little yellow on there because we started at least. Story level edits, but those are white. Okay. That's it for today's stream. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I appreciate it. This was a good one. We got a good amount of progress there. We're getting there. We've got all the unfun stuff left to do, like setting up a tutorial and the main menu and the pause menu. But after that, we're basically at the 99.9% mark. I've talked about this in recent streams. When making these games, it feels like the first 90% of the game is the equivalent to the next 9.9%, and then the final 0.1% as well. We're at the 99.7 or 8%, but the last 0.1% is like, it somehow feels like the same amount of work as the previous 90% and 9.9%, if you know what I mean. It's like a logarithmic change in how much work goes into actually finalizing everything for a final build. But we got gameplay mechanics in. We've got our level set up. We've got audio and music. We've got loot spawning. We've got health. We've got the inventory. We've got technically the death state is in there. We got dialogue triggers. Yeah. All we need is the unfun stuff. All the UI stuff. Gross. Alright. We'll do another one of these maybe next week if I feel like it, but we'll see. But I will not be streaming tomorrow. Obviously, tomorrow's one of my days off. Friday we'll be coming back for more Resident Evil. I'm very excited for that. I want to finish that so that we don't continue to get stuff spoiled for us on YouTube. I've already gotten some things spoiled, unfortunately. And some videos that I have saved that I want to watch. So we got to finish RE9 quickly. Hopefully this weekend. Alright. I will see you on Friday. Have a good night, everyone. Bye.